So I'm asking myself a question. How do I know that I'm being targeted? So, as you can see here, this is my report card for 1998, right? As you can see here, it says from September 1998 all the way to June of 1999. As you can see here, it says here New York City Board of Education. So I went to a school in New York City, an elementary school, a public elementary school. So let me show you the rest of the report card. So as you can see here, unsatisfactory, unsatisfactory, and it keeps going. You can see here I was absent for 25 days. So I'll give you context about the 25 days that I was absent for. Because I was absent for, and then also 13 and 7. There will be, later on in the video, I'll be talking more about it. And then, as you can see here, I mentioned promotion and doubt and such about me. Um, so I asked myself this question once again: how do I know that I'm being targeted? Especially when I was a little kid, that there's something unusual going on with with the way people behave towards me. You know, and I started recognizing it when I was a little kid. Recognizing how people treat me. Recognizing their behavior. So as you can see here, I went to PS 95 Eastwood Public School in Jamaica, Queens, New York, 11432. Now, I'll be talking about an experience, right, to show people that I was being targeted. You know, so I remember back in 1998. So this goes back, right? So after September of 1998, I remember later on 1998, my mom and there's another student in my class, right? His mother and my mother, they said that they're gonna throw a birthday party for both of us because the kid, his name is Camille. His birthday fell near to the same day as my birthday. So my birthday was what, on November 23rd, 1998, and his birthday was, I think, either a few days later than mine or earlier than mine. So that's when I tried remembering the dates, but I really was a bit past that day, and then past that month. Possibly it was earlier. Probably was in October. Probably was in 1999. Around that time, December 2000. No, December 1998, going on to early 1999. So as you can see here, this is 8724 Midland Parkway, and I lived in this apartment with my mother from early winter of 1997 all the way till October 2008. So I remember my mom back in 1998, fall 1998, going on to early. It's either fall 1998 or early winter of 1999. My mom had mentioned to me that that our aunt is coming from Antigua. She lives in the Caribbean. She lives in Antigua, right? She said, "Yeah, our aunt is coming." So I remember my mom said to me that she's gonna go to Green Acres Mall. She's gonna go to Sears in Green Acres Mall and buy a TV, a standard definition, standard TV, a standard definition TV, flat screen TV. We went to Sears, and my mom, purchased a standard TV for what? Standard definition TV for how much? $99. So Sears, they had like the Sears that we had in the Green Acres Mall. There was a basement. They have a basement level, and there's a like a taxi pickup service down at the basement level. So there was a taxi driver who picked us up, and he brought us home to this apartment here. So I remember, at the time I was watching Nickelodeon. I was watching Kabam on Nickelodeon, and my mom said, "Andrew, you need to go to sleep. You have to wake up for school tomorrow." And she also said that she's going to go to work because she works the night shift at Merrimacklet Hospital. It's across from Kings County Park, Kings Park. So I remember waking up early in the morning. Someone else woke me up. I'm like, "Who's this?" It was my aunt. I don't even know my aunt. Um, she said to me to go to the bathroom. But when I woke up, I noticed something weird. It's nighttime. I'm like, wait, I'm not supposed to wake up at this time. Quite weird. So I remember brushing my teeth, and I also ate some breakfast. So my aunt, you know, took me outside, and I noticed that everything is so dark, and there was barely people out on the streets, and barely cars on the streets. It was just empty. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? So I just remember we just going to school, walking towards school. So this is Hillside Avenue, just walking and walking, and going to school. Just keep walking, and all of a sudden we stop here because this is the entrance, right? By means, this is where my class sits at. This is a lunchroom entrance. The lunchroom entrance is right here, right? So there's lunchroom tables. So first graders, I believe first graders, um, was it kindergarteners? No, first graders, second graders, third graders. Kindergarteners go up in the front, and first grade, second grade, and I believe third graders. They also sit at the lunchroom table. They go to the lunchroom entrance and they sit at the lunch table waiting for their teacher. Waiting for the teacher to pick their class up. But I remember my aunt. She knocked on the door, and I believe that someone had mentioned to my aunt to go to the front entrance, or either we didn't hear anyone, and my aunt was saying let's go to the front entrance. So we walk up to the front entrance. So we go here. This is the front entrance of PS 95Q. So this is the entrance here. So as you can see here, that's the front entrance to the school. So this is where my aunt took me. My aunt took me right here, and she knocked on the door, and this African American security guard opens the door. And the first response from the security guard, she said to me, "Do I know Do I know my class? And do I know the room number?" And I said, "I know the room number in my class." So she said to me, "Head up towards my class. Go to my class." So I'm saying to myself, "Huh?" I remember what Miss Ferrari said to me. So Mrs. Ferrari, this is Miss C Ferrari. I remember what she said to me. Miss Ferrari said to me that students who's in first grade, they're not supposed to be wandering the hallways by themselves. They're supposed to be a partner with them, and not only they're supposed to have a partner with them. They're supposed to have like a pass. Like there's a bathroom pass, there's an office pass, and we always have to wear like a name tag on us. So when I heard the security guard spoke to me this way, and I'm like, wait, doesn't sound right. I'm very I'm a very short kid. Obviously, I couldn't be mistaken as a fourth grader or fifth grader or third grader. Obviously, I can't walk up I, you know I can't walk up the dark staircase by myself or go to class by myself. I'm just a little kid. Someone can do something to me. And this lady, the security guard, didn't escort me up to my class, and she didn't even bother to call my teacher in the class to see if she's present in the class with my classmates. She just told me to go up the stairs. So the staircase, the staircase is in the main lobby, so you can see that there's transparent window. The staircase, right? They have little glass. They had little glasses. Glass. There's glass. It's transparent, and at the bottom, at the bottom of in the lobby, there's light, right? You can see light, but through the glass, it reflects to the light reflects inside the glass, so you can see actually the light in the lobby, but you really can see where you're going up the staircase because up the stairs. I mean, yeah, the staircase. The staircase is dark, and it's hard to actually know where you're walking at when you're walking up the stairs. So I get to the first floor. I know that the staircase is dimmed, very, very dimmed. You can't really make out where you're going. But when you get to the hallway, the first floor, the lights are dim. It's quite scary. It's like I feel as if I'm being terrorized. As when I was 6 years old, being put in this type of situation. So I head directly towards my class, and I saw that it's dark. I'm looking inside and say, "Why is it so dark?" And I'm trying to open the door. It's locked. So I head towards a different class. There's a different class door, and I actually try opening it, and it's also locked. And then I tried another class, it's locked. I'm like, whoa, what the hell is going on here? So I went and went to check the auditorium to see if anyone's in the auditorium. So I opened up the auditorium door, and I saw that it's really dark, pitch black, just pitch black. There's no lights. I'm like, oh man. But there was something quite weird. Either I ran through the dark auditorium because I was frightened by something, or I didn't go in the auditorium at all. But yeah, I was frightened by yeah, I was quite scared to actually roam the hallways. I felt really uncomfortable. But before I went upstairs, right, the security guard, she told me to go upstairs. My aunt, right, and the security guard, they were just staring at one another weird. Just stared. They just stared. When I left him, I looked back and I just see them staring at one another. Like weird. It's quite creepy. It just reminds me. To me, it just reminds me of a video game. The way they just stare, just like they completed a task, a specific task, and once that they completed a specific task, they just stared at one another. Once they got me to say, go up the stairs, and they saw me left, they just stared. They just stared at one another like that's it. I never seen this type of behavior before. It's creepy. I felt creeped out by it. But I tried when I got up to the first floor. Right, I mentioned I was in an auditorium, and it was pitch black. So it's either that I ran to the auditorium to go to get to the office, you know. And when I got to the office, it was closed. It was pitch black inside the office. When you're looking at it, you can't see nothing. You can't even make out anything. It's just creepy. The lights are so dimmed, just creeped out. And this school is very old. You can see, how old it is. It's just based off where you're looking at it. It's very, very old. And I just feel so creeped out walking, just roaming the hallways by myself. So when I, came back downstairs, I just saw, my aunt and the security guard just staring at one another. So I say that they're in suspended animation. So it's when I learned, a few decades later, when I learned about the way I was situated, I learned that the security guard, her actions, right at that time, is incorrect. She's not supposed to behave that way towards a 6-year-old kid. That's against school policy. That is against the school's policy. She's not supposed to send a 6-year-old kid up this dark staircase like that and roaming the hallway, the dim lighted or the dark hallway by themselves. It's dark. It's really no light. I couldn't really recognize where I was going. That was really careless, and then it's also dangerous. Suppose I didn't come back downstairs. Something probably happened to me. Maybe I tripped over something and I got knocked out and I was not conscious, or someone was upstairs and they did something to me. How would they know? How would the security guard and my aunt know that I was didn't? How would they know that I'm in class or not, even if I didn't come down? So what would happen with my aunt? You know. So when I came downstairs, I saw my aunt still there. So you're trying to tell me if I stayed longer upstairs, maybe for an hour, my aunt would have just left me and that's it. I would just be wandering around the hallways, the first floor, the first floor, the third floor, and the fourth floor. I would just be wandering the hallway. I mean, the third floor, whatever the floor is. I'll be, and she didn't get the security guard didn't get in trouble. It's definitely not normal. They're like, well, so one person would ask me, "What do you mean it is not normal?" Well, I'm not comparing the rest of the world. I'm comparing the kids who attends PS95 school. Kids from pre-K all the way till fifth grade. It is definitely not normal for a kid to wake up 5 o'clock in the morning and go to school 5:30 in the morning, and the security guard opens the door for them and their guardian, and the security guard tells the student who's just a little kid, really really little, really short kid, to just go up the staircase by themselves, the dark staircase by themselves, and start wandering the whole entire hallway by themselves. That's really against school's policy. Nothing was done. It was unusual. It's an unusual experience, right? Someone would say, "Hey, this is quite creepy," or they would just bring up the Matrix or the Twilight Zone. You know, that is the most creepiest experience of my life. So when I told my mom about it, my mom didn't really do much of it. Do a damn thing about it. Some crazy. I'm telling you. So that's why I go back to my report card. So, and I can give you, I gave you context about the way it was situated before I ended up getting expelled from school. So I had mentioned that about the 25 days, right? So as you can see here, there's 113, right? There's supposed to be one teacher on that report card. Only one report, only one teacher name supposed to be on that report card, and that's Miss Ferrari, not Miss Rubin. And one of the reasons why Miss Rubin's name is on the report card is because when I end up getting expelled, the Board of Education had no other choice but to bring me back to the same school, because those schools and no public schools in Queens, or Catholic schools in Queens, or private schools in Queens wanted me. Not a single school wanted me. That's crazy. It sounds crazy, right? But anyway, as you can see here, this is my report card. And you can see here it says communication arts, reading, oral language, written language, second language. Okay, you can see that the spaces there's no second language, right? Because I don't speak a second language. I only speak English. I was born in the United States, in New York City. And mathematics is right, needs improvement, unsatisfactory. Same with social studies, needs improvement. Science wasn't like that. Satisfactory. Um, so you can see here, this is Mr. Yellman. I did pretty good in these classes. It's good. Satisfactory is good. So it's fine. It's fine. So music, all right, satisfactory. Art, satisfactory. Physical education, satisfactory. Computer, satisfactory. And rest of the class, satisfactory. So work habits, you can see here, it says needs improvement, completes work on time, needs improvement, shows all of it. It says here, right? It just says I need improvement. Okay. Um, shows initiative, needs improvement, works needs improvement, takes care of books and materials, needs improvement. I'm going to go over it. Personal and work social development. It says here needs improvement, shows respect. One, the first period class says the first market period here says shows respect is satisfactory, carries out responsibilities. So you can see here that they put a check for promotion in doubt, and here's 13 days absent, 7 days absent. So I believe that the 13 days I was absent was because my father and my mother went on a trip to Antigua. We usually take trips to outside of the country, and the 25 days was the time I got expelled from school. So let me tell you the more time I got expelled from school, the whole incident that took place. So I had talked about my aunt taking me to school, right? And I was being targeted. That means that shows you I was being targeted. It's unusual. You don't really hear kids being taken to school 5:30 in the morning, and the security guy just opens the door, and a little 6-year-old kid just wanders the whole entire hallways, and dark hallways by themselves. And that's dangerous. That's why it started for me. It started early for me, right? And when I attended Miss Ferreri's class here, right? She treated me weird. Like, she never called me by my first name. Like, as you can see here, my first name is Andrew. She would call me Andy, and when she takes attendance, she calls me Andrew. And she doesn't, give students nicknames. Like, she calls students by their first name, right? Correctly. She doesn't give them no nickname. Only me. She gives me a nickname. She behaves weird. Um, so I noticed that when I was in class, my classmates would mock me. That's what I noticed. They were just every time I show interest in wanting to interact with one of my classmates, they get up. Like, well, for example, if I get up to talk and I wanted to talk, I show interest in talking to one of my classmates. All of a sudden, one of my classmates just gets up and starts talking to the classmate that I wanted to interact with. What else? Uh, I wasn't able to sit down in class and concentrate on my schoolwork because my classmates would distract me from doing my schoolwork. They would, talk nasty, talk disgusting towards me. Uh, Very nasty responses, really horrible. What else? I wasn't able to have my snacks in class like everybody else. Like, suppose the teacher said to the class, put your snacks and or your lunch at the back of the class. So when I did that, put my lunch behind at the back of the class. Someone would open up my lunch box and eat my food, so or just ends up empty. And the teacher, Miss Ferrari, didn't do a damn thing about it. Not even my mom or my parents. What else? My teacher, Miss Ferrari, right? She ignores me in class at times, and as well as my classmates. I get the social barrier treatment. No one shows interest in interacting with me. At times, there's times my classmates do show interaction and show interest in interacting with me. Like, there was a girl named Sheila in my class, and it was a secondary teacher in my class besides Miss Ferrari, and she would go outside and she would have test she would test out the students reading level and also their writing level. So I remember this the second teacher, the secondary teacher, you know she called my name and one of my classmates name, the she called her, and we both and went out the side the hallway, sat down, and Sheila was playing footsies with me. There's times when they know the program, the multi-agent program. So I have called it a multi-agent program. Knows how to make people behave towards me. Knows how to make them interact with me. There's times when it doesn't do that. There's times when I'm just completely left clueless on what's going on with the class. What's going on here? Why are my classmates behaving this way? You know, it's just behave very rude towards me. And extremely aggressive. I was being a target, and I was being targeted in class when I was a little kid. And my teacher, who saw my classmates behave this way, said there's something wrong with my behavior, and I need to go to Mr. Polis' office. This is the dean's office, and sit there. And my teacher, Miss Ferrari, would make my classmates bring my assignments to Mr. Polis' class. And Mr. Polis is not a teacher. I'm supposed to be in class to sit down and learn the material from Miss Ferrari so I can be able to read and write. And I'm not able to read and write the way, when you're in first grade, that's the most important time where you can read and write, right? That's when you start learning how to read and write, not in kindergarten. When I was in kindergarten, I remember just going to sleep. My teacher said, hey, put your heads down, wake up, class. It's time to do coloring book, or going to field trips, going to some farm, or going to some theater to watch the Wizard of Oz. Some college students you know role play as some Wizard of Oz. I just remember going to different places. All right, that's all I remember. Um, what else? So yeah, I was in the dean's office, Mr. Polis' office, and I wasn't able to learn anything. And the more I continue to stay in this class, the worse it gets. Right. For example, my teacher, Miss Ferrari, persuaded my mom to register me for special ed, or you could say research room. And I had a research room teacher named Mrs. Dr. Gamboa. Mrs. Dr. Gamboa. There we go. Dr. Gamboa. She's a old lady, and I remember seeing her at the Chinese food restaurant. But something happened to her, and something happened to Mrs. Dr. Gamboa. I think she ended up passing away. Something happened, and I had a new resource room teacher. But yeah, I couldn't sit still in class, because as you can see here, it says shows self control. Needs improvement. I couldn't sit still in this class because of the way my classmates behave. They provoked me to behave a certain way, and not a single, like I said, not a single teacher or parent from me did anything about it. They didn't do a damn thing about it, and I couldn't do a damn thing about it, even though I was just a little kid, right? Even though I said to my mom and my father and the teacher, they ignored me. So the incident now that I'm talking about. So my teacher announced to the class to turn in their lunch money. So I remember my mom early in the morning said that she's gonna put $10 in the envelope for me. So she, put my name on the envelope, my class number. You can see my name, my class number 1113. The teacher's name, Miss C. Ferrari. She puts all that on the paper. Yeah, I believe. Wait, was it December? Yeah, this got to be after December. Yes, because I remember. I'm talking about the incident. Trying to remember, trying to recall. Because I remember my mom went to J.C. Penney's or Macy's to buy Miss Ferrari a perfume for Christmas, and my mom gave it to me all wrapped up, and she said, "Hand this to your teacher." So this was definitely 1999. Yes, early winter of 1999, where I ended up getting expelled from PS95Q. So this is the school I ended up getting expelled from. The school here, PS95Q. Um, so yeah, so this takes place in class, and then the teacher, Miss Ferry, announced in class, "Hey, where's your class? Turn in your lunch money." So I remember putting my lunch money. I had my lunch, my lunch money was in my pocket, my right pocket. The reason why is that I took it out of my right pocket. The reason why I took it out of my right pocket was to get ready to get handed to my teacher. Then all of a sudden it just disappears. I'm like, wait, how the hell did my lunch my envelope with my lunch money disappear? That doesn't make sense. I had it inside my right pocket, and Miss Ferrari completely ignored me when it comes to me turning in my lunch money. She ignored me. She didn't do a damn thing about it. She sent me downstairs to lunch just like that. Before I went downstairs to lunch, I knew exactly who took my lunch money. I figured it out on my own. So what I did, I got myself like a scissor. That's what I did, and I still remember what I did and why I did it. Got myself a scissor. I what I did, what I did. I disassembled the scissor. That's what I did, because I tried to make it sharp because it wasn't sharp. Disassembled the scissor. Took the sharpest part of the scissor, and because even though it's a kitty, it's a kid's, it's just a kitty scissor. I took it out. I just disassembled it so I could get the sharp tool out, so I can threaten my classmates. I wanted to threaten my classmates to give me back my lunch money. I never had no intention of like hitting them with the scissor. But when I got down to the lunchroom, I saw, Jordan and the girl who's talking to Jordan. I wanted to like do something to them, like scare them, not hurt them, scare them, so they could give me back my lunch money. So Jordan and the other girl, light skinned African American girl, Jordan's African American, and the light skinned African American girl, they were both talking. What I did to Jordan, I hit Jordan in the head. I wasn't trying to hit him at all. I wanted to like miss, try to like try to scare him, like just put it in his face just to scare him, not hit him in the head. But I started panicking. I had like a little panic attack because I never wanted to do that, and I ended up hitting him in the head. And the lady downstairs, the lady who was managing the lunchroom, she's Hispanic. She ended up calling the dean, Mr. Polis, and Mr. Polis came rushing down. And he said, "Oh, what happened? Look at there was blood. There was like blood all over the place, all over the seats. The kids, my classmates, they couldn't sit down at the lunch table. They had to sit with at a different lunch table because it was blood everywhere, blood all over my hands, blood all over my shirt. Uh, Mr. Polis took me upstairs, and I sat in his room because it's provoked. I got provoked. They provoked me. The teacher provoked me. So this is how I got my ideas about murderers, and that's this. So if it's done to a little kid, that means it's done to a big old man. If it's done to me, they did it to someone else. The program and the people behind it, they provoke people. They put people in situations where they provoke them to want to kill people, because there's a certain behavior that the person exhibits that triggers, that the AI triggers them to actually want to do something to them. So it triggers a certain thought process that actually makes them want to do things to them, like make them develop murderous intentions. So possibly I was getting to that point of doing that. But anyway, I sat in the Mr. Post office, and yeah, waiting for my mom, and he was telling me, "Shut up, don't talk." And I was telling him that it's not my fault. My teacher ignored me. She did ignore me. So my mom picked me up and she said, "Oh gosh, what happened here?" And the dean explained to her that I not stabbed, hit the kid in the head with the scissor. So I remember, going back home, and I was in my mom's apartment room, her bedroom in an apartment, and just hitting my head on banging my head on the door. I'm telling my mom I never did this. This is not my fault. But everybody said it's my fault. But I was provoked to behave that way. I'm innocent. I'm not the person who wanted to do that. I wanted to scare that. My intention was to scare the person, scare the kid to give me back my lunch money. That's it. I'm not the type of person who hurts people. That is correct. That's true. I never hurt people. I was always well behaved. And Miss Ferrari, this teacher here, she wanted to make herself look good, as you can see here, right? She's saying, "Oh, Andrew needs help in primary basic skills. He needs individual attention." So I'm not too sure if it's. I have to say this is Miss Rubin's response. It doesn't sound like Miss Ferrari's response. It might be yeah, definitely Miss Rubin's response. But the first teacher, Miss Ferrari, her response was about my behavior and such. So my mom, after the day I hit the kid in the head, my mom took me to school. Took me to PSI 5. She took me to school early in the morning, and teacher, told the teacher, right? She told me I'm not supposed to be in class. Why am I in class? I'm not supposed to be here. Go to the dean's office. So Mr. Polis said, "Hey, you're not supposed to be here. Why are you here?" He was telling me that. Why are you here? You're not supposed to be here. I'm gonna call your mom and so she can pick you up. My mom, ends up picking me up. She doesn't know what to do with me. You know, my mom, right? My mom, she goes to work. What she goes to work during midnight morning, right? So she's extremely exhausted. She has to wake up early in the morning to take me to school, and then come back to pick me up. It's been going on for what? How many days? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. She's been doing that, sending me back to school. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. She's been doing that for 5 days, and they kept sending me back home. So my mom, didn't know what to do with me when it comes to school. So instead, she sent me over to my father's apartment, and I just pretty much stayed with him. And all I did was watch Cartoon Networks. So as you can see here, 25 days. So you see the 25. So this is okay. Here you go. Days absent. So this is definitely not right for to know that a kid, like a 6-year-old kid, like a first grader, being absent for 25 days. Look at this number here. 25 days. I was absent for 25 days because I was expelled from school. The school said I'm not supposed to be there no more. I'm not supposed to go back to that school no more. And, weeks started passing by. And my mom, had to call the Board of Education here. She got to call the Board of Education. So I remember early in the morning, she was on the phone with the Board of Education. And she would say, I just remember when I was a little kid, I used to, sit in front of my Game Boy Color, playing my games. Uh, she said to the people that I'm not supposed to, I'm not supposed to be staying home. I'm a kid. I need to go to school and learn. She never heard of this before. Why is this happening? The Board of Education said to my mom they don't know what to do because the principal, as you can see here, this is the principal here. The principal said that I'm not allowed to come back to school no more, and they don't know how the Board of Education don't know what to how to convince the principal to take me back to the school because this is a huge mess. Now Miss Ferrari didn't want to ruin her reputation as a teacher, right? So she talked bad about me. So this is definitely not the report card, but she talked bad about me to actually shield herself from the situation from the situation because she knows she ignored me with the lunch money because it's only after I hit the kid in the head with the scissors when they recognize the situation, right? That the whole purpose of me hitting the kid in the head with the scissors is because I wasn't able to eat my lunch. I wasn't able to get my lunch, and I wasn't able to give the money to the teacher. So that's how it all started. That's how all the hosts, Miss Ferrari didn't know how to understand. She didn't know how to situate the class. She's supposed to understand children's behavior, and she don't understand that. Her actions, Miss Ferrari's actions, is the reason why I ended up doing it myself. I handled the situation on my own instead of the teacher handling it for me. She wasn't supposed to do that. So she shielded herself by talking bad to me, talking negative to the Board of Education and the principal. She didn't want to lose her job. So it was a huge mess. I'm talking about a huge mess. So, the Board of Education didn't know what to do. They couldn't really convince the principal to take me back. My mom just kept calling the Board of Education over and over and over, like nearly every day, for weeks, for weeks. As you can see, the number 25 for weeks. So my mom and my father said, since it's been going on for a long time and the school doesn't want me back, my mom and my father tried to get me into Catholic school. So they told the Catholic school that I came from a different country, and this is one of the reasons why I behave this way because this is how the people in Antigua behave. And the Catholic school said that they wanted over $10,000 from my parents, and my mom doesn't have such money to pay for the school. Over $10,000. They don't have such money like this. They constantly they have to keep paying all that money for school. They don't have stuff like that. Oh, I think over thousands of dollars or ten. I'm not too sure. I don't think it's ten over ten. It has to be thousands, thousands of dollars. You know, they don't have such money. So instead, my mom tried to find like a Catholic school, some cheaper Catholic school, like a school, a private, like a Catholic school near to her job. My mom works at Mir Immaculate, right? It's a Catholic hospital. Anyway, she finds me, she takes me to this school. She said, hey Andrew, let me, I have to wake up early in the morning to, take you to this Catholic school. So she, took me to this Catholic school. Maybe I can find it over here. He took me to this Catholic school, all the way in Parsons Boulevard. So I remember since I was a little kid. I remember everything. 'Cause, I lived here. I lived in Jamaica, Queens all my life. It's not this. I lived in Queens all my life. I know where to walk. So I always take this shortcut when I'm walking. This is my shortcut to the library. So this is what I'm familiar with. So when you get up to the end, you'll see the library. I knew everywhere. I knew every place. So the library here. All right, this is the library. This is the bus stop. This is the library, Queens Library. So as you can see here, this is the library. So um, so yeah, I remember my mom, you know, just saying to me, "Hurry up, you gotta go. You gotta get to school. You can't sit here and not do anything. You have to go to school." And like I said, it started. Like I said, I was targeted at a really early age. No schools, not no. To be honest, no schools wanted me. Public school, not a single public school within the area wanted to take me. It's that bad. I'm telling you, it's really that bad. My report card was so not this report card, but there's another report card that was so bad that the teacher, none of the schools wanted me. They got frightened by me. It's like I was like a shish. They had me like I was like some sort of Chucky or something. Anyway, this is the Catholic school right here. I remember my mom. See, this is a Catholic school. I remember my mom walking me into this place here, and we sat down, and this lady, uh, you know, came to look at my report card, and she just threw down the report card at my mom, and she said to my mom, "We don't want him here." And my mom said, "I never seen nothing like this. A person, someone, she saw that. She said that the lady have an attitude. Even up to this, was it 2021? She said, yeah, they didn't want to take you into that Catholic school because the lady had an attitude. I just remember, going to the 99-cent store. Right here, there was a 99-cent store right here beside that bus. There's a 99-cent store here. There used to be a 99-cent store here. And I remember getting a popper, a party bag. And, my mom felt sorry for me that I was in this type of situation. She took me to McDonald's, and I was, went on the playground and just played with the kids my age, because I wasn't able to interact with the kids. I have to say it was more than that. It was over how many months? It was over a month. It was nearly 2 months. I wasn't able to get I wasn't able to get any interaction. I was pretty much being isolated. I was isolated. I just pretty much spent time with my father, who's an adult, and he would take me to different places like South Jamaica, you know, the projects, places. I just remembered, and then it just continues from there on out. But anyway, once I ended up switching my class, I had a little problem with the new teacher too, and my new classmates. Like for example, so this is Miss Rubin's class 1114. So Mr. Yelman, Mr. Yelman. So this is Mr. Yelman, the heavy set. So this is Mr. Yelman, right? The heavy set white gentleman, the tall, heavy set white gentleman with glasses, and he's a bit bald, and his middle of head is bald, and he has some hair in his sides. So Mr. Yelman. So I remember in my new class, there was a kid, a Guyanese kid, who sat next to me, and I said something. Either I wanted to ask a question, or I said I wanted to interact with him. All of a sudden, he becomes sensitive. So I talked about this before. He becomes sensitive. Like someone would say, "What do you mean sensitive?" I know all of a sudden when I started talking, he raised his hand. So I was like saying, "Oh, he probably might ask the teacher that he needs to use the bathroom." But instead, he says to Mr. Yellman, "Sir, he's bothering me." And then all of a sudden, Mr. Yellman, right, tells me to come in front of the class. I'm like, "What?" So he puts his hands around my waist and he lifts me up all the way towards his face, where his eyes meets my eyes, and he stares at me for a few seconds, and he tells me this: "Stop it!" and slowly puts me down, while all my classmates stares at me. All I just see is empty eyes. There's no soul. There's no soul within my classmates. There seem to be, when it comes to perceptual awareness, they seem to not, they all behave like robots. They seem to not be afraid of what Mr. Yellman did at that time. All of them just staring. They're just empty eyes, just staring at me. Their minds are empty. I just, that's how I think of them, and they're just staring at me, and I'm just shaking. And that's when I started developing social anxiety. When I started being treated this way, when I was being targeted, in first grade, that's when I started developing social anxiety, and it started being more to myself, right? And the more I tried engaging with my classmates, right? Like for example, I was in my YMCA, and I had a teacher, a Guyanese teacher, who'd tell me, "Silencio, stop talking. Andrew, stop talking. Silencio. Why are you talking? Why are you talking so much?" That was YMCA. YMCA had YMCA and PS95Q. Uh, well, I'm not too sure what's her name. Anyway, the Guyanese YMCA teacher or the YMCA staff, she would tell me to stop talking in class. But I see other kids talking. They're very, talkative. But, she specifically does it to me. That's what I noticed. She doesn't do it to the rest of the kids in the class. There's definitely social engineering going on, because YMCA. You can talk to anyone. You don't really learn anything in a YMCA. You're there to, like, pretty much either do your homework, or if you want, you can bring your Game Boy Advance. I've seen my classmates. They brought their Game Boy Advance, to school, and their Pokemon cards and Yu-Gi-Oh cards. So I don't know what am I doing wrong. Why is it that I'm not allowed to talk? And then when I don't talk and I speak to myself, she said, "Why are you so quiet?" And later on in the future, 2010, when I was attending Hillcrest High School, I had a teacher in 10th grade. Her name was Miss Louise. I remember, she would single me out in class, to show that I was being targeted. And she would tell, she took my English paper. She showed the class my English paper, the essay that I wrote, and she ripped it up and threw it in the garbage. And I had a Arabian friend. He said to me that Miss Louise is a bitch. I don't like the way Miss Louise behaved towards you. She behaves like a bitch. So this is later on in the future. So it still goes on. When I was 18 years old, attending, was it 10th grade? No, 17 years old, attending 10th grade. I went to 10th grade in high school. But anyway, it still continues, right? But like I said, when I was in first and second grade, I started, experiencing people telling me I'm not supposed to talk, but the rest of the kids in the class could talk. So what's so special about me? What's so special about me and the rest of the kids in the class that I'm not allowed to talk when they're allowed to talk? So why is it that she doesn't single them out and say, "Hey, why are you talking for?" And I'm not allowed to not and it continues. Besides YMCA program, um, what else? Besides the YMCA program, right? I was in third grade. Was it no second grade? Yeah, it was in second grade. I had a teacher named Miss Hirsch. So let's go outside in the park, the balcony. So it was what, It's not here. Let's do. Let's go back to this spot here. So you can see here. Uh, as you can see here, my class for second grade. When I repeated second grade again, this is my class right here. That's my class. Outdoor was my class. Yeah, they had such thing like that. Didn't you know? That's my class. Instead of my class being inside the school, it was outside the school. And there's a bathroom inside. So I remember there was another gun. There was a Guyanese kid, and it's always Guyanese. There was a Guyanese kid that I used to interact with, and we used to talk. And I remember saying big up to him, and he said that I said you see, you just raised his hand and told the teacher. He said, Miss Hirsch. He cursed at me. I'm like, I never cursed at you. He said big up. I'm like, what? That's not a curse. You were so fixated on me. So Miss Hirsch, when my mom picked me up from school, and there's a specific. I noticed there's something also odd about the way I'm situated. You know, like there's a time where I feel excited to interact with people, right? Knowing that my mom is picking me up and instead of my father, and I feel excited, and someone knows that I feel excited. That's what I also notice. Every time I feel excited, someone always make people behave a certain. I know I talked to the kid before. He never behaved this way. I was always talking to him. Why is it that this particular time when my mom is picking me up and I also feel excited, he feels the need to talk, tell the teacher, tell Miss Hirsch that I said a curse word to him, and I never did, and I never said a curse word. It's not even a curse word. Just big up is like a slang. You know, it's nothing. It has nothing to do with a curse word. And I also mentioned another word, right? That is related to luck. And Miss Hirsch, when she got the class outside, and waiting for my mom to pick me up, my Miss Hirsch said to my mom that your son said a curse word to his classmate. Do you know what that word means? I just said big up. That's all. I said big up. He said, oh, that's something that we say in our country. You know, you never said anything inappropriate. Yeah, they're so fixated. That's also another behavior that I noticed. And one of the reasons why the kid said that to Miss Hirsch, behave that way because I was feeling excited. I was feeling excited that my mother was picking me up. But if it was my father picking me up, the kid wouldn't raise his hand and say, hey, he cursed at me. But since I feel excited that day, yeah, that's what I noticed. And then when I compare it later on in the future, when I compare what happened later on in the future, like for example, I was at the what do you call it? I was I was at the pool with the babysitter's son, and the babysitter went to the kiddie area, and Dennis and I was talking, and I was so excited. I was so excited to go to the pool, and also excited to wake up the next following day because my mom said that she was gonna purchase me a game at Target, called Super Mario DS for me, so I can play it on my Nintendo DS. So that was summer 2005, August 2005, yes, or June. Or was it June or July or August or 2005? No, it got to be. No, it was before August. I had to say June 2005. I was so excited to purchase this game, and all of a sudden Dennis just jumps on top of me, and he ended up hitting my nose, and I ended up swallowing water, and I was coughing out water, and the lifeguard blew her whistle, and she said, "You two come out." And I was accused of kicking a girl, an African American girl, in the face. So every time, what I notice here is that every time I feel excited, bad things happen to me, and I was always questioning that. Why is it that every time I feel happy or excited, bad things happen to me, but when I'm not excited or happy, nothing happens to me. Like for example, My mom said to me that we're gonna go to where we call it, Salem. We're gonna wake up the next day. We're gonna go outside. She would tell me, hey, hurry up, Andrew. We're gonna go outside to go to the laundry so we can wake up tomorrow to go to Penn Station. Was it Port Authority or Penn Station? Was it Port Authority? No, Penn Station. Either Port Authority or Penn Station. We're gonna take the train or the Greyhound bus. Uh, and I was so excited. But like I said, bad things happens to me. I remember just out of nowhere, I ended up getting sick, and I didn't feel too good when I was going on the trip. My throat was just burning me. When I was going to Salem back in 2006, fall. Was it December 2006? Yeah, I didn't feel good. Why is it every time I get excited, bad things happen to me? That's why I was starting to notice this has been going on for since I was what in first grade. That's when it started. Everything just bad happened to me every time I feel excited. Just like the time I wanted to go to where because 2006 was it 2005? 2005 it was also the same thing happened to me. Me and my mom said that we was gonna go somewhere, and all of a sudden my classmates started behaving. Before my mom said it. Well, no. It was during the time when she said we were gonna go somewhere, and I remember she sent me to school. I went to school by myself, and then all of a sudden, my classmate Nige just behaved stupid. He just jumped on top of my back. When I said, "Oh, forget about it," put my hand down, he jumps on top of my back, and he slams me against the lockers and slams me down the floor. I'm like, "What the hell is going on here?" And then another time, because I was excited for something. Every time I get excited, probably it could be a video game releasing, or I'm going somewhere. Like for example, I asked one of my classmates to hand me my jacket. That was in sixth grade, December 2005, and was it? Yeah, December 2005. And then all of a sudden he just throws it at me. Instead of handing it to me, when someone else asks him to give them get like for example, this could be Jonathan, another classmate that I'm acquainted with. You know, Jacob could Jonathan can ask Jacob, hey, can you pass me my coat? And he just gives it to him. Instead, he just throws it at me, and the sharpest part, like the zipper part, ends up hitting my thumb, and my thumb was swollen for 2 weeks, and I couldn't even play games. When I went to a trip, we went on. Me and my mom and sister. We went on a trip to Boston, I believe. Either we went somewhere. Yeah, we did. We either went somewhere, or was it? Yeah, we were six. I went, we went somewhere, and I was excited. And my whole thumbs was swollen. I couldn't even play video games. I couldn't play my video game because my thumb was swollen, and I couldn't do anything I want. Every time I moved my thumb was swollen. It's always something like December 2004. I was excited. I was gonna go to a family reunion, and this was in PS95Q. And me and Sid Ginger and my other friends, we would always play. We would always interact with one another. And all of a sudden, Sid Ginger just got angry out of nowhere, and it just hit me in the back of my neck. And for the whole 2 weeks, every time I moved my neck, it would hurt. And I was excited. The reason why I was excited was it December 2004 was because of the Nintendo DS. So the Nintendo DS came out November 2004. So I was excited because I wanted to tell my mom. I told my mom if he saw a Nintendo DS at somewhere, would you help me get it? She said, "Yeah, I will help you get it." I was excited for it, and I was excited. I was gonna leave the state and go to a different state, and see my family. and spend time, and and I was gonna not only spend time with not only spend time with them and being able to stay at their house in Delaware. It's a new life experience. It's experience. I was excited for it. You know, why is this happening to me? Why? Every time I feel excited, bad things happen to me. And when I got to Delaware, not only I was in pain with my neck, my cousins was treating me rotten. Like for example, my female cousin Precious, she slapped me in my face for no apparent reason. And Keenan, my cousin who's 1 year older than me, he just started behaving stupid. Like he would just lift me up the stairs and throw me around and punch me. I felt really horrible. On top of being in pain in my neck, I was just not feeling, I was just feeling sad. That's what I noticed. It always happens. Like someone monitors my stress levels, and also my emotional level. They monitor not only mine's, also other people's. Because it knows how to make people mad. Like for example, Naiji, he just got wild and just started jumping on my back like a like an ape or a monkey. Like he's a monkey. Like he just started jumping on me, going crazy, jumping here, jumping there, like he's a monkey. Yeah, he's gone crazy. It knows how to make people go nuts, go psycho. Or like Dennis, he just decides to just jump on top of me, and I end up getting in trouble. Like the African American girl, accused me of kicking her in the face, and I never kicked her in her face because I was drowning in the pool. I was coughing up water, and I was trying to catch my breath when I was trying to explain to the lifeguard that I never kicked the African American girl in her face. I never kicked her in the face, man. And no matter what I say, not a single person listens to me. Very robotic. They were all unresponsive. And it's like I had to keep talking over and over to get them to understand what I'm talking about. Like it's as if someone just made gave them this mind at that time to behave this way towards me. And regardless of what I say, they're not even listening to me. All they care about is making me look like the bad person. That's it. No matter what I say, I'm like, what the hell is this? And the same way, the same treatment that I got after the last day of school. The last day of school, I was happy. Like June 2005, I had Mr. Bata, and I was so happy that I was gonna graduate from PSNA 5Q. I said I'm gonna be able to spend time, you know, playing with my Nintendo DS, and I would be able to, not I wouldn't need to do work or anything. I'm happy that I don't have summer school. I was so happy. And the last day of school, my classmates, Garesh, and Kevin was just behaving weird. Like I remember, Mr. Bata said to our class that we can use the computer, and I went to use the computer. But yeah, 2005. I went to that was June 2005. I went to use the computer so I can look up video games. Like I go to IGN.com, or I go to a Japanese website to look at the latest games that's coming out in America. And I was only what 12 years old, and all of a sudden Kevin just started talking aggressive towards me. I don't know what I did to this kid. I was just minding my own business. Then all of a sudden, Garesh, I just left the computer section, just sit back down because Kevin is behaving weird, and Garesh just started freaking out on me, and I'm like, "What is your problem? Dude, what's your problem, man? What the hell is this kid's problem? I was just minding my own business." And then he just starts, getting getting angry at me, and I'm not even saying anything to him. And then he started becoming, hostile. That's how to put it. He ready to freaking fight me. And then I remember just punching him in the stomach. And then Mr. Bata saw me did that to him, and Mr. Bata called his fellow buddy, which is another teacher, and told the teacher that I'm gonna come to this class. He said, "You need to go to this class. I have a student who's misbehaving." I'm like, "What? I'm misbehaving? What the hell is going on here?" You know, what? How the hell am I misbehaving? I went down and sit down. I went to the computer section to sit down and look at video games on the computer, and Kevin was behaving weird towards me, and then all of a sudden I left that area, and Garesh started behaving. It's like a chain reaction. Both of these children are unbalanced. They need to go seek some sort of professional help since they don't know how to behave. You know, behave civilized to another kid. I'm just there minding my own business. I'm not doing anything to no one. So why am I being targeted in class at that time, the last day of school? So I'm being told that I need to go to a different class because my classmates don't know how to behave correctly towards me, and there's something wrong with my behavior because something's wrong with my classmates' behavior. That doesn't make sense. So I end up in a different class, the same class where Lawrence, another kid that I know, that my classmates, gossip. My classmates started gossiping about me wanting to beat up Lawrence. That was before June 2005, and Lawrence said Lawrence slapped me in my eye and my eyelid. Still have right now. If you look at my eyelid, you'll see his nails. His nails imprinted in my eyelid. That's some crazy stuff going on here. It's a shitty treatment. Horrible. Every time I think about what happened the last day of school, I was just like, damn. And when I left, when my babysitter came to pick me up, Miss Mimi, I was like, I'm finally done with this crappy school. And then Miss Mimi and the rest of the kids, like I said, Dennis, he jumped on top of my jumped on top of me, and Jeffrey, Dennis and Jeffrey are two kids that always accuse me of doing things too. I remember going in the Cunningham Park, and Jeffrey hit me in the right eye with an acorn, and my eye was red and swollen. And Mr. Carlos, this is Miss Mimi's husband. He said that I'm not allowed to go back to the park with them again because something's wrong with my behavior. And I never did anything to no one. I was just minding my own business. I asked Dennis if I can ride his scooter around the park. He said yes. So I ran the scooter around the park, and nothing went. And I would share the scooter with Jeffrey and everybody else. I don't know. I'm not hogging up the scooter. You know, it's crazy that I'm being treated this way. It's madness. And like I said, it started early for me. Right now, as a 30-year-old, I see the way I'm situated. I can't get it. No matter how many jobs I apply for, no job shows interest. Not a single job shows any interest in hiring me. It reminds me of the time when I was in first grade. Like no schools showed interest in putting me in their school because of my record. Well, this is happening now, and it's crazy. I don't. And no matter what I do, nothing works. All the jobs I apply for, even going to a job training program, that doesn't work. Everything is just mapped out for me to actually keep me in the same category. That's when you know that there's something wrong. You know, I did job training programs. I also spoke to I spoke to professionals. Like I went to work, job agencies, temp agencies. I did everything. Even the welfare people tried helping me. Nothing can work. Nothing works. It's crazy. It's crazy to know that this is happening to me, and this has been going on for how many years? Well, since first grade, since I know it. You can't. I know for a fact you can't get left back in kindergarten, right? You can't get left back in no kindergarten. Only first grade is when you can get left back. So the AI started targeting me in first grade. That's the best grade to get the kid left back, and it also got me in special ed, right? And the program, placed me in special ed to keep me in this category. It's not just me; it's other people. But for me, it's on a higher degree, you know. Uh, to be honest, when I think about the way I'm situated now, I don't hear people talking about themselves being 30 years old and not being successful with getting a job since they graduated high school June 2012. It's rare to. I don't see nothing like that. I don't even use the word rare. I don't see anyone talk like that. It's just me. I'm just the only person here on uploading sometimes on TikTok and on YouTube, about my experiences. I don't see no one I don't see anyone going into depth about their experiences like me or using any, evidence such as their own report card from 1999, grade one. I don't see nothing like that. So, thank you for watching my video. And, I might go to sleep for at least 40 minutes and go outside and complete the rest of my college assignments. I'm supposed to, well, I'm a few credits short from being a senior, But then again, I still call myself a senior because after I get my credits, I'm a senior. But anyway, um, thank you for watching my video. I know the artificial intelligence is giving me a hard time. I just had to, right now it's a mess because I'm supposed to be getting evicted, you know, a long time ago. But it's just a big mess. And I'm getting sick. The doctors saying there's something wrong with my testicle. The blood is not flowing. It's just getting worse. And I have a inflammation in my esophagus. It's just getting worse. And I'm gonna upload another video right now about my sister and call it a day. Thank you for watching.